Welcome back to She Rises Daily, Emerging You in 10. I'm your host, DocShellie, here to bring you your daily dose of inspiration, empowerment, and growth. Let me ask you a question. What are you trying to figure out right now? Maybe it's a relationship, a career decision, maybe a family situation or a health concern. Maybe you're experiencing a season of uncertainty. Perhaps it's just something that doesn't make sense, something that isn't moving as quickly as you would like it to, something that keeps replaying in your mind at 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, let me ask you a second question. How much energy are you spending trying to solve it? Because many of us have developed a habit of believing that every challenge has an answer, every problem has a solution, and every uncomfortable situation can be figured out if we just think hard enough. What if that is not always true? What if some things are not meant to be solved right now? What if some things are meant to be experienced, navigated, grieved, accepted, or simply carried for a season? That's what we're talking about today. Not every problem is a puzzle. Some things in life can absolutely be solved. A scheduling conflict, a broken process, a financial calculation, a flat tire. Those are problems, and those have solutions. Many of the things that weigh most heavily on us aren't problems. They are experiences, loss, waiting, uncertainty, disappointment, healing, change. And yet we often approach those experiences like they are puzzles missing a piece. If I could just figure it out, if I could just understand why, if I could just find the answer, then I'd feel better. But some experiences aren't asking to be solved. They are asking to be lived through, to be experienced. Sometimes the search for an answer creates more exhaustion, especially high achievers. The leaders, the fixers, the helpers, the people who are known for figuring things out. When life presents something uncertain, we go to work. We analyze, we research, we replay conversations. We consider the possibilities, all the possibilities. We try to connect dots. We try to gain control. And sometimes all of that effort leaves us more exhausted than the situation itself, because not every question has an immediate answer, and not every season comes with a roadmap. Sometimes the constant search for certainty becomes its own burden. Think about a time when you were waiting for an answer, waiting to hear back, waiting for test results, waiting for a decision, waiting for clarity. Most of us spend those moments believing that if we think about it enough, we will somehow feel better. And the truth? The answer usually arrives when it is darn good and ready to arrive. And all the overthinking in the world does not make that waiting any easier. What often helps is accepting that, for now, uncertainty is part of the journey. Not because we like it, not because it's comfortable, but because resisting reality rarely makes it any easier. Some things are meant to be carried for a while. Notice I said for a while, not forever, just for a while. There are seasons in life that don't resolve quickly. Grief, for example, that never works on a schedule. Healing does not follow a timeline. Growth does not happen overnight. And some questions do take time to answer. The challenge is that we often treat temporary uncertainty like it's a permanent emergency. We panic because we don't know what to do. We pressure ourselves to have answers we do not have yet. We convince ourselves that we should be further along. Sometimes wisdom isn't having the answer. The wisdom is learning how to walk forward without the answer. Peace often arrives before resolution. Many people believe peace comes after everything is all figured out and everything is settled. After the answer arrives, after the problem is solved, after the uncertainty disappears. let's get real. That is not how life works. Because if peace only comes when everything is resolved, most of us will spend our lives waiting for peace. Real peace often arrives when we stop demanding certainty before we will allow ourselves to rest. When we stop arguing with reality, when we stop trying to force answers that are not ready yet, when we decide that uncertainty can ride in the passenger seat without taking the wheel, that is where peace begins for us. Here's your reflection question for today. What are you trying to figure out right now that may not need an immediate answer? And what would change if you gave yourself permission to stop solving and simply be present for the experience? Here's your power thought. I do not need to have all the answers to move forward with peace. As we wrap up today, I want to leave you with this thought. Maybe the thing that's wearing you out isn't the situation itself. Maybe it's the pressure you have placed upon yourself to get it all figured out, to make sense of it, to solve it, to understand it, to force clarity before clarity is ready to arrive. And maybe today is an invitation to loosen your grip just a little bit, not to stop caring, not to stop showing up, not to stop moving forward, just to stop carrying the responsibility of having every answer. Because life is not a multiple choice test. Some seasons are meant to teach us patience. Some seasons are meant to build trust. And some are meant to remind us that we are capable of moving forward even when we don't have the full picture. You don't have to figure it all out today. You only have to take the next step. As you move through the rest of your day, notice where you're spending energy trying to force an answer and ask yourself, is this something I really need to solve right now, or is this something I need to trust for today? And let that question guide you. Thank you for tuning in to She Rises Daily, Emerging You in 10. If today's episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who may be carrying the pressure of having all the answers. And if the podcast has encouraged, challenged, or supported you on your journey, I'd be grateful if you'd take a moment to leave a review. It helps more people discover the show and become part of our growing community. Until next time, remember, you don't have to figure it all out in order to keep moving forward.